So they're working on their debut album, Appetite for Destruction, and they put it out, and it does all right when they put it out, but it doesn't really make a lot of waves, and especially, you know, for the time and the money that Geffen put into them, it wasn't what they were expecting.
Yeah.
So
Geffen gets pissed.
they made a music video for Welcome to the Jungle, and MTV refused to play it.
Yeah.
They were like, this is violence.
Exactly.
This is too violent for us. Okay? We're MTV. We're a classy organization. We're not going to be sullied by these guns and these roses.
We definitely are not. And they're like, well, what about the video is violent? They play it, and MTV is just like, that guy with the red hair, he just looks violent.
He has this craziness in his eyes. We don't need this on our airwaves, okay? We don't condone this until the money comes in.
Exactly.
So
they were like only playing it at night after they got their arms bent, you know, maybe from the bigger wigs that actually probably subsidized MTV. They were like, look.
Well, what I heard is that Geffen himself basically begged them to play the video. He was like, come on, guys. Like, this band is fucking great. The song is killer. Just play the video. Just play it one time. And they're like, you want us to play the video? Okay. We'll play it one time at like 4 a.m. on a Sunday. All right? How about that? He was like, whatever. Please, just play it. So MTV plays it one time at like the shittiest time spot they could ever possibly give it.
Right.
And immediately after they play it, their phones are lighting up. What was that?
Exactly.
Play that again. That was the craziest shit I've ever seen. I want more.
Yep. It just went like wildfire. Like it just, I mean, that's awesome. Like that just like lighting up all the airwaves and stuff. And them just going from not even being able to be played to going to being played like everywhere.
Well, it's interesting. It's something that we kind of talk about sometimes. It's like at the end of the day, when it comes to music and really anything, like kind of art, like the people are the ones that have the power.
Yeah.
Because you can have like a label that tries to create something that like push it down people's throats. Some people might buy it. But if you have something the label isn't necessarily trying to push so much, but everybody is flocking to it, guess what the next big thing is? You know what I mean? The people really have a lot of the power when it comes down to what's actually selling and what's actually influential.
Yeah.
And this is the case. It's like MTV did not want people seeing this fucking video.
Exactly. And that's so silly, MTV. Who in the world do you think is up at 4 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday? Somebody that's like 20-something years old.
Strung out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a really good
They don't
point.
have to go to bed. They're in college or they're done with college or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's who's up. Like...
And then as soon as all those calls are coming in, MTV changes their tune real fast. They're like, oh, I guess there's money to be made here. Interesting. Oh.
They walk into the offices, which are like, you know, really like a whole filled with like people that are over 50 in suits. And they're like, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired.
You're cool.
Exactly.
And you're fired. I'm out. Yeah. So now all of a sudden Guns N' Roses is starting to rule the fucking airwaves. And they put out their second single.
Yes.
Sweet Child of Mine.
Oh my.
Do 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 do. The guitar riff on that song, fun fact, was originally just a little practice riff that Slash was messing around with. He thought it was some kind of like fun circus sounding riff, and he was just playing it as like a joke. And I think it was Izzy or maybe Duff that was like, "Whoa, what's that? I like that. Let's make something out of that." So they made this song, Sweet Child of Mine, which is a beautiful love song.
Let's talk about the way that song just builds up, right? You know what I'm saying? Starting with like the riff and then
the little bass solo.
The bass that comes into it, that's beautiful. And then the way like, you know, the drums start to set up the doo-doo, like everything kind of flushes through. Yeah. Right? And then the build up, then it builds, right?
Yeah. And it comes in, and then you got Axl's voice, which is just nobody sounds like that.
Yeah. I like when he goes, as soon as he says reminds me of childhood memories, the way like Slash plays is just like boing, like right with him. That is like awesome. Like, and that's what I'm kind of talking about. The beauty of the way they kind of support each other in like little parts of music or vocals that you don't really necessarily need to have that kind of support. Like in Reminds, that's not the end of the lyric. That's not the beginning of the lyric. He's not going super high, but like that's like very memorable.
It's like, Slash is like, let me accent this. Yeah, the chef's kiss. Just, what is it? Salt Bay? We add the salt.
Exactly.
That's Slash. Yeah, so now, and that song goes to number 1.
Yes.
It's their only number 1 song.
Right.
So now it's been like a year since the album came out.
Yeah.
And now the album goes to number 1.
Yeah.
And that is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, I think, almost more impressive than having it go out right when it comes out.
Exactly.
Like to number 1 right when it comes out.
That's a slow burn.
Right? That shows it has staying power. And it's like, it's kind of just like, it hit when it needed to hit. You know what I mean? And now that album is like, it sold like 30 million worldwide. Like,
yeah, 35 last time I counted. So,
oh, really?
Yes, I actually sat and counted, and I was like, oh, wait, 1 million. You know, I mean, can you imagine how long it takes to count to 1 million?
Oh, my God, no.
It's 35.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. And it's one of the greatest selling albums ever. I mean, if you're talking best selling albums, you're talking like Thriller.
Yeah.
You're talking like Led Zeppelin 4. Appetite for Destruction. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's just not many albums that have sold that much ever.
Yeah. Take that, Beatles. No,
and it does. Yeah. Take that, Paula John. You ugly
guys
motherfuckers.
Cut your hair for that? No, just kidding.
But and even Duff was saying, he was like, yeah, it went from being like, you know, we had like a little buzz in LA to like now everyone all over the world knows us.
Yeah. And this is an excess time. Yeah. In America, okay? Like, this is crazy.
It's the 80s.
This is almost wrong.
Shout out to Reagan.
Exactly.
Yeah, but when you think of how big it is, how big that album became, it's fucking absurd.
Yeah.
I mean, you said 35 million?
Yeah.
Think about that. I mean, that's like, I don't know how many people, what the population of America was at the time. Let's say it was 200 million.
Right. You
take away the people that are too young to be buying albums. You take away the people that are too old that are like, I remember when music wasn't all about the devil and blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. You take away all those people.
Which was never, but anyway.
Which was never. But, you know, this rock and roll music, it's like a new level of devil worship. You know what I mean? But you take away all of those people, and you're left with just like the music buying public. Mm-hmm. Probably like half of everybody that was in the music buying public bought this fucking album. Everybody had this album. Like, it was just you couldn't stop it. It was a juggernaut. Mm-hmm. And now we're saying, like, you think about it, like, they literally went from hitchhiking 1,000 miles to Seattle, being basically homeless, to being the biggest band in the fucking world in like 2 to 3 years. Yeah. It's crazy. It's like, it's almost impossible to do what they did.